Hello everyone, my name is Bob McKinnon and I'm the CEO of the Nova Scotia Gaming Corporation. Welcome to the 2020 Support4Sport Awards, the virtual edition. Nova Scotia Gaming Corp launched the Support4Sport program in 2006 along with our program partner, Sport Nova Scotia. And since that time, we've raised $42 million. This money is now the largest source of funding for amateur sport in the province. And Nova Scotia is known for having one of the strongest sport communities anywhere. And over the last few months, this has proven to be true like never before. The support you have shown each other has been impressive and has proven that once again, we are stronger together. And although this year's gathering is a little bit different than years past, the sentiment remains the same. Sport brings people together while building strong communities and teaching us valuable lessons about leadership and teamwork. At Nova Scotia Gaming Corp, we are very proud to be supporting your accomplishments with you. On behalf of Nova Scotia Gaming Corporation and the Support4Sport program, congratulations to all of the nominees and all of the winners. And to everyone, thank you for your dedication, perseverance, and commitment to excellence in sport. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Ferguson with Sport Nova Scotia, and I hope this finds everybody well. The past few months have truly been unprecedented in our province, and our heart goes out to everyone who's been impacted by these events. The past few months have also shown us how important sport is and how much we miss it. And we really appreciate those of you who shared the genius ways that you've safely been able to keep active. Thank you very much for that. We want you to know that Sport Nova Scotia and all of our provincial partners are working hard to make sure that sport returns safely for all Nova Scotians. And there's another group of Nova Scotians who have been working very hard, and that is all the winners and nominees for this year's Support4Sport Awards. We'd like to thank the Nova Scotia Gaming Corporation and the Support4Sport program for helping us find a different yet still special way to honor all this year's winners and nominees. We're very grateful for all their support and the support that the entire sports system gets from the Support4Sport program. And again, of course, congratulations and thank you to the coaches, officials, athletes, sponsors, and volunteers who are the winners and nominees of this year's awards. You teach us to reach for the stars, you inspire us, and you embody all that we know are the great qualities that sport can help develop. So thank you again and congratulations. We hope you enjoy the presentation.
Community Sport Organization winners. Alpine Martok Ski Race Club. Martok Ski Race Club saw its registration surge to 164 athletes across its program offerings in 2019-2020. That's a record high for the club, which provides alpine and freestyle ski programs for ages 6 through masters. The organization relies on the support of its coaching staff, 36 strong this season, and member volunteers to ensure a positive and inclusive environment for athletes, coaches, and families. The club strives to deliver quality programming as economically as possible. Rugby Metro Intro to Contact Program. The Halifax Rugby Club and Halifax Tars Rugby Club join forces to create the Metro Rugby Club to offer a much improved Intro to Contact rugby program. The clubs recognized the challenges in operating individual programs for this age group and opted to partner up. Together, they were able to provide the age and stage appropriate opportunity to 15 developing players. Sailing Shelburne Harbor Yacht Club. Almost 50 boats from 4 countries were treated to a special week of racing and festivities when the Shelburne Harbor Yacht Club hosted the Albacore International Championships. It was the first international regatta hosted by Shelburne. Sail Nova Scotia honored the event as Regatta of the Year in 2019. Teams from Canada, the United States, and Europe competed for the title of Albacore World Champion. Surfing. Surfing Association of Nova Scotia. Wanting to reduce barriers to water activities, the Surfing Association of Nova Scotia launched the Swim to Surf program. SANS worked with Blockhouse in North Preston to provide the program for people who might not usually have the opportunity or the proper gear to engage in water sports. SANS also partnered with the Nova Scotia Life Saving Society to provide 6 swimming lessons and assessments. 7 surf lessons followed at Lawrencetown Beach. The program attracted kids and adults alike. Sport makes a difference winners. Hockey, Oliver Smith, Olliebots. Oliver passed away on June 27, 2019, but his legacy lives on through the Olliebot Project, which continues to raise funds to support cancer research for Ewing sarcoma. Oliver started the project with his family in November 2017, making Olliebots, resembling small robots, with a set of 6 blocks of wood held together with glue and hockey laces. Each Olliebot was signed with Oliver's symbol, an O with a heart in it. The symbol appeared on the left hip, where his primary cancer site was located. Almost 3,500 Olliebots have been made and more than $70,000 donated from sales to the Ewing's Cancer Foundation of Canada Endowment Fund. The project also provides money for other local sick children and their families. Soccer. The W Inspire Conference, hosted by UDFC. The W Inspire Conference, hosted by United DFC, began with an idea to inspire and recruit more female soccer coaches, but transformed into an incredible conference celebrating all aspects of female leadership in soccer. The conference, open to women of all ages, attracted 80 delegates from all over the province, including coaches, managers, volunteers, referees, and future coaches. Presenters from various backgrounds and sports gave inspiring talks on topics ranging from becoming your awesome to tips and tricks for player management. Tennis, Kelly Rideout, Susie Oxner, and Cindy Wheeler. Kelly, Susie, and Cindy are the leaders behind the Tennis Nova Scotia wheelchair tennis program. The 3, also avid players, didn't hesitate to volunteer and managed to get enough support to maintain a ratio of 1 coach to each player on the court. They bring the kind of compassion and encouragement to the court that keeps wheelchair athletes engaged, challenged, and inspired. The program had only 2 players in May 2019, but grew to 7 players over the course of the outdoor season. The demand was there to continue into the indoor season. Official of the Year finalists. Soccer, Marie-Soleil Baudouin. Marie-Soleil Baudouin worked games at all levels in 2019, but there was a clear highlight among her assignments. The Halifax official was appointed to the FIFA Women's World Cup in France. Marie-Soleil had an exceptional event, refereeing 4 matches, including the round of 16 showdown between host France and Brazil. Her performance earned Marie-Soleil an appointment as the referee for the semi-final between the Netherlands and Sweden. In September 2019, at the invitation of France, she was appointed by Canada to referee the Trophée des Champions in Jangoum, France, a game which crowns the women's professional champion for that country. Despite her international schedule, Marie-Soleil still found time to work club and university level games. She was appointed referee for the senior women's final in August 2019. Nationally, she traveled across the country working games in the Canadian Premier League, including the inaugural game for the Halifax Wanderers in Halifax. Softball, Darren Gerrois. Darren Gerrois of Truro was one of only 2 Canadian umpires selected to work the WBSC Men's World Softball Championship in Prague, Czech Republic. The tournament brings together the top 16 men's national teams in the world. Darren was also Softball Nova Scotia's umpire at the 2019 Women's Canadian Championship in St. John's. He's the provincial umpire-in-chief and very involved in teaching and mentoring other umpires. Darren has served as presenter at the Blue Convention, regarded as Softball Canada's flagship training opportunity, and an instructor at the National Umpire School and Level 3 Clinic. He's on a committee to rewrite the Softball Canada Level 1 manual and to help simplify the rulebook for new umpires and coaches. Darren was the Canadian exchange umpire at the Men's American Softball Association Championship in 2018, Chinese National Games in 2017, and the Men's WBSC Junior Worlds in Midland, Michigan in 2016. Table tennis, Erica Ans. A banner year firmly established Erica's status as an elite international official. She was Canada's representative as table tennis umpire at the Pan American Games in Lima, Peru, where she worked both the women's singles and team event finals. Erica then traveled to Japan, where she took part in international referee school. She was one of just 10 candidates and the only one to attain the Distinguished International Referee certification. This significant accomplishment also meant that she became the first female international referee in Canada and only the second in all of North America. This dedicated official from Dartmouth finished the 2019 season as deputy referee at the International Table Tennis Federation's North American Challenge Plus tournament in Toronto. She was originally scheduled to be an umpire, but event organizers called on her to switch roles with just 2 days' notice. The move demonstrated their trust in Erica's skills and professionalism. Erica continues to officiate local and regional events. She was also instrumental in rekindling table tennis in New Brunswick by training umpires and referees. The 2020 Support for Sport Official of the Year is, for the second year in a row, Marie Soleil Boisdoin. Congratulations, Marie Soleil. Coach of the Year finalists. Gymnastics, David Kikuchi. Coach David Kikuchi and his star athlete Ellie Black have teamed up for record-smashing success. In 2019, Ellie became the most decorated Canadian gymnast in Pan American Games history, collecting another 5 medals and defending her all-around title. The two-time Olympian also placed 4th in all-around at the World Championships in October, narrowly missing the podium after sustaining an ankle injury landing a vault. David, who also went to 2 Olympics as an athlete, has a profound passion for assisting other gymnasts to reach their full potential. The Fall River resident grew up in a family full of gymnasts and coaches. They ultimately inspired him to pursue his career in gymnastics. David coached at the 2016 Olympic Games and at several World Championships. He's one of 2 lead coaches for Team Canada for the next Olympic Games, now set for 2021. On top of his national team duties, David successfully ran the competitive program at Halifax Alta Gymnastics Club. Rowing, Patrick Cody. For a second straight year, Rowing Canada selected Pat to join the RCA Next Gen coaching staff for the World Rowing Junior Championships. Pat coached women's quad, and the crew climbed to 4th place at the event in Tokyo, Japan. The strong showing on the world stage was just one example of the success athletes enjoyed with Pat's guidance. Athletes he coached and mentored also competed at the Senior World Championships, as well as the Can-Am X and Trans-Tasman Regattas. Nationally, Pat coached Team Nova Scotia at the Canadian Rowing Championships in Burnaby, BC, where the team performed well and nabbed 3 medals, 2 gold and 1 silver. The Dartmouth coach consistently exemplifies the core values of Row Nova Scotia. In his coaching, he effectively communicates the importance of high standards, hard work, integrity, commitment to self-improvement, teamwork, and community. Through his vision, actions, and leadership, Pat models those very same values. Rugby, Jack Hanratty. Jack is raising the caliber of rugby across Nova Scotia. His extensive work has dramatically improved athlete performance, player welfare, coaching, and programming. Within the Celtics Club, Jack oversees all age group programs while taking on the director's role for the senior men and head coaching position for the senior women. He capably fills the role of provincial coach for Rugby Nova Scotia and helps lead the Atlantic Canadian Rock at both the senior men's and U19 levels. Also in 2019, Jack was renamed head coach for Rugby Canada's U20 women's national team and served as an assistant for the national senior women's side. Jack created a senior high-performance training group so athletes don't have to move across the country. He also regularly pitches in at the grassroots level. He's extremely passionate about player welfare. Jack was one of 19 individuals honored as Canadians who are changing the course of mental health. He initiated the Rugby Nova Scotia Tackles mental health campaign, utilizing the motto, "If you talk, I will listen. If you listen, I will talk." The 2020 Support for Sport Coach of the Year is David Kikuchi. Congratulations, David. Team of the Year finalists. Baseball Nova Scotia 17U Selects. The Nova Scotia 17U Selects took on baseball's heavyweights and won, capturing the Canada Cup in Regina. It marked the first time Nova Scotia had reached the final, let alone won the title. Considered the premier event for Baseball Canada, the tournament boasts the top 20 players from each province. For many players, it serves as the last stop before advancing to post-secondary or professional opportunities. The Nova Scotia team went 6-1 en route to gold, knocking off Manitoba, Alberta, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Quebec, and Ontario. All 6 wins were decided by 2 runs or less. The Canada Cup is typically dominated by Ontario, Quebec, and British Columbia, considered the big 3 powerhouses in the country. Ontario, in fact, entered the event as the 8-time defending champion. In the final, pitchers Duncan McLaughlin and Ethan McClellan combined to strike out 14 Ontario batters on the way to the 3-2 victory. Shortstop Noah Boutlier knocked in all 3 runs. Goalball, Nova Scotia Junior Boys Goalball Team. The Nova Scotia boys repeated as Canadian Junior Goalball champs, and they did it in convincing fashion. Nova Scotia went undefeated through the double round robin, semifinals, and final in emerging as the best team among the 12 competing at the event. In the last 4 years alone, Nova Scotia has won 2 gold medals and 2 silver medals at nationals. Mason and Nick were selected as 2 of the top 3 tournament male players. Matthew and Griffin were also on the championship-winning squad. The event brings together the best junior goalball athletes in the country, including several players who also play with their senior provincial teams. Players are eligible to be selected to represent Canada at the World Juniors, which takes place every 2 years. The 2020 Support for Sport Team of the Year is Nova Scotia 17U Selects. Junior Male Athlete of the Year finalists. Canoe Kayak, Andrew Billard. Andrew earned the opportunity to test himself against the best paddlers in the world, competing at 2 major international events in 2019. Andrew, who trains at the Masqua Aquatic Club, raced to a pair of gold medals at the prestigious Olympic Hopes Regatta in September in Bratislava, Slovakia. The 18-year-old from Hammonds Plains added to his medal haul, teaming up with Matthew O'Neill of Ottawa for silver in the U16, U17 C2 200 meters and bronze in the U16, U17 C2 1000 meters. Andrew said he managed to exceed the high expectations he had going into the regatta, which boasted 835 athletes from 36 nations. The trip to Eastern Europe wrapped up a very busy competitive season for Andrew, who also paddled at the 2019 ICF Junior and U23 Canoe Sprint World Championships in Romania, where he won the B Division final for 10th overall in the C1 1000 meters. Softball, Brody Fraser. Brody contributed on the mound and at the plate as Team Canada won gold at the 2019 WBSC Junior Men's Pan American Qualifier in Guatemala City, Guatemala. Brody, who's from Upper 9 Mile River, scored the winning run in Canada's 4-1 victory over Mexico in the gold medal game. For the tournament, he pitched 5 1/3 innings, striking out 13 batters. Winning gold earned Canada a spot at the 2020 WBSC World Cup in New Zealand. Brody also competed at 2 national championships in 2019. The East Hants Mastodons went on to win silver at the U16 event after Brody tossed a perfect game in a 3-0 semifinal victory against Shallow Lake, Ontario. He pitched 55 innings in the tournament, fanning 68 batters. Brody also hit .471 and drove in 11 runs. At the U19 championship, Brody competed against players 3 years older than him. He performed well in helping the Colchester Royals to 5th place. Taekwondo, Django Meyer. Django competed internationally at the 2019 Cadet and Junior Pan American Championships in Oregon. The 18-year-old from Kingston fought his way to silver in the under 55 kilogram division, which included 16 competitors representing 14 countries. Overall, the Pan Am Championships attract more than 600 athletes. Django went 4-1, losing a close match in the final to an opponent from Argentina. Winning silver for Canada highlighted a successful 2019 season for Django. He also competed in the senior category at the 2019 Canada Open. Here, Django faced 16 competitors from 8 countries and came away with bronze. At the Canadian Taekwondo Championship, he earned gold in the under 59 kilogram class. Django was the national champ in 2018 in the under 55 kilogram division and in 2017 in the under 51 kilogram division. The 2020 Support4Sport Junior Male Athlete of the Year is Andrew Billard. Way to go, Andrew. Junior Female Athlete of the Year finalists. Athletics, Maggie Smith. Maggie Smith knows how to make a debut. The Halifax athlete burst onto the international stage, capturing the 1,500-meter race at the Pan American Under-20 Track and Field Championships last July in San Jose, Costa Rica. In her own words, she went for it. Maggie made the risky decision to move to the front of the pack in the first lap, but held the lead wire to wire in winning gold for Canada. The 1,500-meter competition was originally scheduled to have a preliminary round but became a final-only event. Maggie ran with a lead that was as much as 50 meters and crossed the line in 4 minutes 25.47 seconds, with the second-place finisher coming across in 4:26.83. Maggie, who has set multiple provincial records, qualified for the Pan American Championships with her silver medal at the Canadian U20 Track and Field Championships. She's a student athlete at Villanova University and runs at home with Halifax Athletics. Canoe Kayak, Julia Lily Asunde. Perhaps the only thing harder than winning a world championship is defending it. But Julia and partner Sophia Jensen did just that. The two repeated for Canada, capturing gold in the C2 Junior 500 meters at the 2019 ICF Junior and U23 Spring World Championships in Romania. Julia, who trains with the Micmac Amateur Aquatic Club in Dartmouth, and Sophia Jensen, a member of the Cascades Club in Chelsea, Quebec, first claimed the title in 2018 in Bulgaria. Julia was just 17 at the time. Julia's other hardware from 2019 included 3 medals from the Brandenburg Junior World Cup in Germany, where she collected gold medals in the C1 1000 meters and C2 500 meters, and silver in the C2 200 meters. Julia started paddling on Lake Banuk when she was just 8 years old and competed in her first international regatta 7 years later at Olympic Hopes in Szeged, Hungary. Her ultimate athletic dream is to represent Canada at the Olympic Games. Taekwondo, Carrington Carroll. Carrington won back-to-back gold medals for Canada at the 2019 Pan American Championships in Portland, Oregon. The talented teen from Purcell's Cove took the title in the under 49 kilogram junior female division before moving up in weight class to win the Pan American Open Championships that same week. After returning home, Carrington again moved up in weight class to manage a silver medal at the Canadian International Open Championships. She managed the result despite dealing with an injury. Carrington started the 2019 season by winning her 8th Canadian Taekwondo National Championship and has won the Nova Scotia Provincial Championship every year since 2010. COVID-19 has cast a shadow of uncertainty over the rest of the 2020 international schedule, including the World Junior Championships in Bulgaria this fall. In the meantime, Carrington is focusing on her transition to the senior ranks. She's aiming to represent Canada at next year's World Senior Championships and at the 2024 Olympic Games. The 2020 Support4Sport Junior Female Athlete of the Year is, for the second year in a row, Julia Lily Asunde. Senior Male Athlete of the Year finalists. Hockey, Jared McIsaac. Jared overcame injury to crack Canada's roster for the IIHF World Junior Championship and helped the team to gold. It was the second straight year Jared made the national junior squad. To get there, again, he needed to completely dedicate himself to rehab after shoulder surgery in June. Jared managed to return to the Halifax Mooseheads lineup November 30th, and less than a month later was named to Team Canada. The Truro defenseman was a veteran presence for Canada and finished the World Championship with a goal and 3 assists, as well as a +4 rating. Winning gold was extra sweet for Canada after losing in the quarterfinals in the previous year on home ice. After the tournament, Jared was traded from the Halifax Mooseheads to the Moncton Wildcats. He was playing a key role for the Wildcats, who were making a serious run at the QMJHL title before the COVID-19 pandemic shut down hockey for the season. Rowing, Andrew Todd. Andrew and his partner Kyle Frederickson are back-to-back world champions. For a second straight year, the two teamed up to win the PR3 men's pair event at the World Rowing Championships. The two are a dominant force. Their impressive record also includes gold at the 2018 Para-Rowing International Regatta in Gavirate, Italy. In singles in 2019, Andrew won the gold in PR3 at the National Rowing Championships. For his incredible year, Andrew was named co-recipient of the RCA Para-Rower of the Year. He was part of Canada's bronze-winning 4-person crew at the 2016 Paralympics in Rio de Janeiro. Training in Dartmouth, Andrew sets the bar high for provincial athletes aiming to compete on the international stage. He mentors young athletes and also serves on the board of Row Nova Scotia. Speed skate, Cooper Emin. Cooper was part of Team Canada's 3-member crew that won gold in the Neo-Senior Men's Team Sprint at the ISU Junior World Cup No. 2 in Escate, Netherlands last November. The Neo-Senior category provides skaters aged 19 to 23, not yet at the Senior World Cup level, a chance to develop further internationally. The former Canada Games athlete from Cole Harbour also showed well in 3 other events at the World Cup No. 2 event. Cooper placed 4th out of 25 skaters in the 1,000-meter race, 5th out of 20 in the 500-meter, and 9th out of 23 skaters in the 1,500-meter. Gold in team sprint highlighted a productive season for Cooper, who continued to show steady improvement. He also competed at the 2019 Fall Classic, the Canadian Long Track Championships, Can-Am International, Canada Cup No. 1 and Canada Cup No. 2. Along the way, he reached personal bests in the 500-meter and 1,000-meter distances. The 2020 Support4Sport Senior Male Athlete of the Year is, for the second year in a row, Andrew Todd. Senior Female Athlete of the Year finalists. Canoe Kayak, Michelle Russell. Fall River kayaker Michelle Russell competed for Canada at the ICF Senior World Championships last August in Zagreb, Hungary. Battling a very deep field, Michelle placed 7th in the B final of the K1 200 meters. The result meant Michelle finished 16th out of the 45 at the event, the highest level of competition in the sport other than the Olympics. The 28-year-old paddler trains at Chima in Waverley. She started kayaking when she was just 7 years old, after her mom signed the family up at the Abenaki Aquatic Club in Dartmouth. Michelle quickly took to the sport of paddling. Her competitive pursuits led her to join Chima in 2004. Michelle began turning heads at age 17 when she won 4 medals, 2 gold and 2 silver, at the 2009 Canada Games. A career highlight came in 2013 when she raced to gold in the K1 200 meters at the ICF Under-23 World Championships in Welland, Ontario. She was Canada's only double medalist at the competition, also winning bronze in the K1 500 meters. Gymnastics, Ellie Black. Ellie became the most decorated Canadian gymnast in Pan American Games history, collecting another 5 medals and defending her all-round title. The Halifax gymnast left Lima, Peru with 2 gold medals, 2 silver, and a bronze, giving her a total of 10 medals over the last 2 games. In addition to the all-around gold, Ellie was first in vault. Her silver medals came in team and beam. She finished 3rd in bars and 4th for floor. After her stunning performance, Ellie was named Canada's flag bearer for the closing ceremonies in Lima. The 2-time Olympian also placed 4th in all-around at the World Championships in October, narrowly missing the podium after sustaining an ankle injury landing a vault. Ellie became the first Canadian gymnast to win a world all-around medal when she earned silver at the event in 2017. Also in 2019, she claimed the all-around Canadian championship for the 6th time. Rugby, Olivia Demarchant. Olivia was a leader and top player with Canada this past season. She competed in the Women's Rugby Super Series against New Zealand, France, England, and the United States. The event is designed to aid teams in their preparations for the 2021 Rugby World Cup. Canada finished at 1-3, losing by just 2 points to both England and the United States. Against the U.S., Olivia, who plays front row, scored 2 tries in the first half as Canada built an 18-8 lead before falling 20-18. Canada's lone victory was a 36-19 result versus France. Olivia, who's from Mapledale, New Brunswick, relocated to Halifax to train at the highest level with the Celtics Academy, where she also acts as a mentor and coach to developing players. She has represented Canada 41 times, making her the 9th most capped player in the history of the senior women's program. The 2020 Support4Sport Senior Female Athlete of the Year is, for the 8th year in a row, Ellie Black. Chair Award. Duff Montgomery's connection to the sporting community began as a multi-sport athlete in the 60s. By the 70s, his involvement had expanded to include coaching and officiating. He was the first full-time executive director of the Nova Scotia School Athletic Federation and was influential in determining the philosophy and vision of the organization. Duff Montgomery was appointed by the Canadian Federation of Provincial School Athletic Associations to the position of co-chair of the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association's Scholastic Council and was awarded their National Certificate of Recognition in 1976. He went on to fill the coordinator of sport position for the Nova Scotia Department of Recreation between 1976 and 1984, where he instigated the very first sport conference in Nova Scotia. In that role, he also implemented a review of government policy in relation to competitive officials and officials' development policies that are still in place today. He represented the provincial government on the Interprovincial Sport and Recreation Council and at the Commonwealth Games. He participated in the National Coaching Certification Steering Committee, served as mission staff, and as council member for numerous Canada Games, and has helped push the agenda for the development for sport infrastructure across the province. During his time as Deputy Minister of the Department of Health Promotion and Protection, he acted as the liaison between health and sports ministers. In this role, he succeeded in his push for the government to recognize the clear correlation between sport and health, a first in Nova Scotia. Montgomery is a Bridgetown and Area Sports Hall of Fame inductee and recipient of the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Medal in recognition of his persistent efforts to promote physical activity to Canadians. Montgomery's lifelong commitment to the development and advancement of sport has impacted the sector at every level. He has worked tirelessly to create an inclusive environment with a particular focus on women and Indigenous communities. His passion and determination have led to positive results for athletes, coaches, teams, volunteers, builders, and organizations. Sport Nova Scotia is honored to present Duff Montgomery with the 2020 Support4Sport Chairs Award.
Thank you and congratulations again to all of our winners and nominees tonight. We couldn't be here in person, but it was a very special time and we hope you all appreciate having the chance to share it with all of us. We very much look forward to seeing you again on fields and in rinks and in all the sport venues across the province before too long. Stay safe and be well. Thank you.